Hello, welcome. We're going to talk today about notebooks and also digital productivity tools. So, I'm just going to talk about the various notebooks that I'm using this year, my planner stack, if you will, which is kind of it has a double meaning because like in development your stack is like the platforms you're using to build your software. But anyway, um, first up is this guy. This is an endless recorder. It's not literally endless, it does have an end, but the brand is endless, and recorder is like the model, I guess. This has a dot grid. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. A dot grid, 187 number pages. It does have a, let's see, it does have a table of contents or like an index. I don't ever use these. I probably still won't in this one. I'll probably just leave it blank. It has one of these elastic things so that you can close it, and it also has, if I can get these out, two bookmark ribbons that you can use to mark your place. And what this notebook is going to be is my bullet journal. And I'm going to do something different this year where, so last year I broke out my yearly spreads into this smaller one. And you can see I have 2020. It is reversed because this is selfie mode. I have 2020 and 2021 on there, and then just like a random spread that I wanted to keep track of. But I found that I wasn't really using those spreads. Like most of them are pretty empty. I've updated my goals a little bit, and that's basically it. So what I wanted to do this year was consolidate again, put everything in here, including the yearly spreads. I did find, so I used to go through bullet journals, like something about this size would last maybe 3 months because I was just using a lot more space. I was doing a lot more writing. But if we look back at this year's bullet journal, this one is, how many pages is this one? This one is also about this is 192, so almost the same. And I'm not even done yet. I have, let's see, that much space at least. So there's like, here, we can do some math here. There's like 30 pages left in this thing. And I'm not going to use all of those. They're just going to stay blank because I like to start the new year with a new journal. But my point is, I don't need to put my yearly spreads into another notebook because this notebook lasted me all year. And so there's no reason to think that this one won't. I think it's probably very likely that this one also will get me through the whole year. So if I put my yearly spreads in here, it's going to make sense. Like, I'm not going to switch notebooks halfway through and then have to like rewrite them in the new notebook. Another reason is that I've been using a traveler's notebook style cover that can hold multiple notebooks in it. Because I was commuting to work and I was taking my journals with me, to work and back, they needed something to protect them. And I'm not doing that anymore. I work from home, so my notebooks stay here all day. And so I did away with the cover just recently, like last week. Sort of wrangling all these different notebooks is not quite as easy if I have multiple notebooks that sort of fit in the same use case, if that makes sense. So that's another reason that I wanted to consolidate, put everything in here that would typically go in a bullet journal and call it good. So that is this one. The next notebook I'm using is the Passion Planner, and this one is in this nice, they call it the Space of Infinite Possibility design or something like that. It's kind of weird. It feels like a little bit plush. I don't know. It's a weird sort of cover. It is a hard cover. Not super hard. It's just like cardboard in here or something. But I have used the Passion Planner for years. Previously, I've had an undated version, and this one is dated. So big step for me. I've never felt like I could commit to a dated planner. Saying like, you know, all the dates are filled in and those are the dates I'm going to use this for. It seems like a big commitment to me. But I just wanted things to be a little bit cleaner. Like, you can see all the dates are filled in here. We have this week is kind of formatted in a nice way. I don't know. I wanted something a little bit nicer for some reason I can't quite explain. If you don't want a dated one, like I mentioned, you can get this undated. It looks the same. It has all these, but they're just the numbers and things are blank, so you just fill them in. So like this white box is all white instead of having a number in it. There's a little space here for like the days of the week, or whatever you call this, the date range. But I went with this one. It covers the whole year. Passion Planner also has, if I can find it, they do these, where is it? Okay, here it is. They do this passion roadmap where you kind of do some brainstorming about your goals. You pick a game changer, where that's kind of the big thing you want to accomplish first. They do lead you through this process of goal setting, which I really like. I don't usually use these spreads, you know, too thoroughly because I have my own process I like to use, but I think they're really fun to fill out. So what I'll probably do is I'll just do my normal goal planning and then just fill these out as sort of a fun project. And then they also have, they do have 2 bookmark ribbons. I thought there were 3 for a second. No, there's 2. They have reflection prompts after every month, and then they repeat the passion roadmap pages at 6 months. So it is sort of just a well-rounded goal-setting planner. I use it, as I mentioned in a previous Vlogmas video, I pretty much only use this for day job work planning. So I like the timeline. I can fill in my meetings. I can, you know, mark my work hours, and then I can see where like working, like sort of deep work sessions will fit in there. I can see if I want to do a workout where that will fit so I won't miss any meetings. It's just, I like seeing it on the timeline. I think it works really well for structured work where you are sort of meeting and counting on other people to do your work. So I will put like personal stuff in the off hours, but I very rarely use it on weekends. I usually just work in my bullet journal on weekends, but I am excited about this. I love this cover, even if it feels, I don't know, it feels weird. I don't know what material this is. I don't know if they say. I would have preferred something a little bit more lightweight and maybe less dense and less plush. I don't know. It's a strange feeling to hold it, but you know, most of the time it's gonna be open on my desk. I'm not gonna be holding it, so whatever. So that's my second notebook I'm using for 2022. And then the third notebook and the last physical tool I'm using is this guy. It's the stereology, whatever, however you say it, SDALOGY. It's got that really thin paper. You can see I did the pen test in here for yesterday's video. It's super, super thin. It has over 365 pages in here. And so this one, what I want to use it for is sort of a dump notebook. I don't have a good name for it. I want to use it for daily note taking that is not like organized. It's not something I'm definitely going to need to revisit. I do a lot of like sort of free-form note taking as a way to work through ideas. And what that ends up being is very messy, very disconnected from everything around it. So this stuff I don't want to put in my bullet journal, because if I'm looking for my tasks, if I'm looking for my goal pages, it like obscures everything to have all the extra note-taking stuff in there. So that's what this is going to be. in theory, I could fill a whole page every single day and still not run out of journal space. So this one I think will be really good for that. So this will be just sort of a, meeting notes, idea brainstorms, lists of random crap that doesn't need to be saved anywhere else. And then if I put something in here that I decide like, oh, that actually would be good to have, I can always migrate it over to my bullet journal or over to Notion, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. So this is the third and final notebook. So we've got, this is my physical planner stack, and I am just home all the time, so I'll just stack these up and take each one out as I need it. They're all within reach. Very good. And the next thing I want to talk about is Notion. So if you have looked at really any like planning content in the past year, you've probably heard of Notion. So Notion is an app. It's available, I think, on everything. It's on web, desktop, mobile. That's touches all the bases. And it is it's like a note-taking app, but it's also more than that. It's kind of like if a note-taking app was combined with a pretty powerful spreadsheet. And I keep saying I'll do a video just about Notion, and I will. I have to prepare that. But for now, just quick overview. You can write up documents with different formatting, headers. You can embed things like images or links. You can nest these documents in a sort of hierarchical format and link between them. So it's pretty flexible in that respect. And then also you can create these things called databases where you can just build, like, it is exactly what it sounds. You can build a database from scratch pretty much, where you can have your object that goes in the database. You can have all these properties for it. Like, say you want to do a book database, you can have the book title, the author, the genre, number of pages. You could put a cover image in there. You can write your notes about what you thought about the book. And you can put all this information into a database that you can display in different ways. So you can have like timeline views if it makes sense. If you have data with some sort of time attached to it, you can do just a list, a table. You can do like a Kanban board style thing where you have like things in different columns. It's incredibly flexible. It's very cool. It's pretty much only limited by what you can come up with to create. And there's a lot of tutorials. There's a lot of sort of inspiration floating around out there. In the past year, I've used Notion mostly for my game development work. So I have all the documentation that I've written up for like how everything should work, how the multiplayer server communication works. I've got some concept art that I've saved in there for the different characters I've designed. And then I've also got a big database full of all my tasks. And so I can go in and see at any point like which tasks are done, how hard I think they'll be, all kinds of cool stuff that I've added in there. I've added some neat progress bars that fill up based on how many subtasks are done, things like that. It's very cool. And what I want to do this year is expand Notion so that I'm including different types of projects. So I'm pretty sure I don't want to do anything like habit tracking or like little daily tasks, but what I do want is like project definitions, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but like my game project, I want to put things in here that sort of contribute to something bigger, like a big goal. Or I was playing a little bit with figuring out how to set OKRs, but they seem a little bit confusing to me still. But I want to expand that task database, and Notion's added this really neat feature called grouping, where it just adds another layer of organization to how you can display the stuff in these databases. And so I think I can create something really cool with the grouping and by expanding this task system so that I can track different projects sort of in the same place. So that's the big thing I want to do with Notion. I also use it for video planning, so I've got all my Vlogmas stuff in there. All the video notes I write up, I write in Notion, and I can just keep track of, like, I've finished filming for this one, but I still have to do editing, or like, if I want to, I can plan out the metadata in there. I don't usually go that deep. I usually just come up with that stuff on the fly. Maybe that's not a good strategy, but that's kind of my vision for Notion, is to be a sort of big central project database. What I don't want to do in Notion, like I mentioned, is anything sort of small, daily, things that are going to be useless to me to ever look at again. So that's the stuff I really want to put in my bullet journal. Little daily things that I have at top of mind that I do and then they're done. All that stuff's going to be in the bullet journal and not in Notion. That's kind of the scope of my planning tools for 2022. It's not really that involved. It's all very simple. I think the biggest part is just getting this task database set up correctly for other tasks, because I just didn't design it that way from the start. So I might have to do some backfilling to get that working correctly, but I'm excited. I love playing in Notion. I love setting up my journals. So now that we've sort of given each notebook a job and determined what's going to go where, now I'm going to start, finalizing my goals, hopefully today, and setting them up. The best part of the year, setting up a shiny new journal. Alright, so I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I can't even believe how quickly this last week has gone, how quickly the next week is probably gonna go. But I'm excited. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm doing a lot of relaxing, which is good. I work a lot, and it's good. It's good for me to get this rest. So in the comments, let me know what's your planner stack? What are you using to plan for the new year? And if you don't use anything, that's totally fine. I know that this isn't for everybody, but I find this stuff so thrilling because I'm a huge nerd. So if you want to see more of my yearly planning process, don't forget to subscribe, and I will be back soon, tomorrow, with another video. Bye-bye.